Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about tabletop gaming. Geeky is actually going to sit in on this video. She normally doesn't when we talk about tabletop. But tabletop has gotten to such a place now where it is just beyond parody.
You mean like the coffee shop modules and stuff?
Like the coffee shop modules, mostly with cancel culture. Now, we talk about comics and cancel culture, and we talk about the video game industry and all that stuff, but I can honestly tell you the worst of it when it comes to getting canceled, getting blacklisted, whatever, is in tabletop gaming. I have never seen anything like it. Comics doesn't even come close for all the people complaining about getting blacklisted from comics. It actually takes a lot more to get blacklisted from comics than it does to get blacklisted from tabletop.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So apparently in tabletop gaming, and this has happened before, we've seen this happen before, if you make a statement, a public statement, that you want your games to be apolitical.
You want to welcome everyone.
You want to welcome everyone. That is problematic and you need to be canceled. So we're going to talk about Troll Lord Games putting out a very innocuous tweet, which I think is actually a good tweet. But then what happens is these idiots from Twitter go out and they start pouring through the timelines and the Facebook posts.
Their name is also on Hive. Well, then go hang out in Hive then.
Oh, you can't do that. That actually violates Twitter's terms of service now. You're not allowed to put that in so somebody should report that. Anyway, we're gonna talk about this because I just am always floored. We'll talk about Gen Con, how like if you do anything to piss anybody off at Gen Con in any way,
surprised anybody's left.
Ban you, because they basically want to have just their kind of people.
They want a circle jerk. They want everybody to be there of the same persuasion, same politics, same. So it's an echo chamber of bullshit.
So let's talk about that echo chamber of bullshit. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Almost 284,000 subs.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you for the support. We've been talking more and more about tabletop gaming as things in tabletop gaming have gotten weirder and weirder and weirder. And, I've been talking in particular about Hasbro's stupid business decisions, but really you can trace a lot of the weirdness back to, I believe, Tumblr culture infiltrating tabletop and trying to change everything from the inside out, like a freaking virus. Yes. So this, I got to give a hat tip to the basic expert on Twitter. Troll Lord Games puts out, again, this is a good message, I think, a quick note to remind everyone here at Troll Lord Games that Troll Lord Games has a games-only philosophy. We leave all the discussions in which society enjoys to engage to others. They have no place here. This is a place to belly up to the table with our friends and enjoy games. I feel very much the same way. I think if you're there to game...
Hey, if you feel that way too, you might want to check out their stuff.
You might want to check out their stuff at trolllord.com.
Because,
yeah, there might be some other things going on here, and I'm going to talk about that too. Just kind of, I'm not really familiar with them. I have heard of them, but they are, getting it from all sides now on Twitter, and people are actually, going into the owner's timeline and Facebook page.
What?
Trying to find out pages that he has liked and if they're political. Like apparently he liked Candace Owens, and now they're all pissed off about that. So they're trying to get him boycotted.
That's psychotic. I mean, that works both ways, right? Someone can go investigate you.
Yeah. But a lot of these people, I think they're sock puppet accounts. I think they're fake accounts. I think a lot of them are people associated with, I potentially think they're
competition.
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted that right off.
Yeah, that's what I think might be going on here. And I've seen this before because I know that, like with TSR, which turned out to be a freaking shit show beyond belief, and I stopped covering it because there's a lawsuit and all this other stuff. But they were dogpiling Ernie Gygax too, and they were trying to find dirt on him. They've tried to, get rid of Gary Gygax, separate him completely from Dungeons and Dragons because they didn't like the politics of Gary Gygax. It doesn't matter what his politics were. The fact is he made the game that you play now. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, you're playing a bastardized version of what he came up with, but still, the name's the same, right? But here's some of the responses to this. It's insane. This one, new company to avoid. I love TLG's products. I own a hell of a lot of them, and Castles and Crusades is my favorite system to run. I've enjoyed spending time with the staff in person. With that in mind, this is an absolutely trash take It's horribly naive and utterly privileged.
How dare you say everybody should just like cut the politics out to play games? This is for everybody, so everybody can be friends again and play games. How dare you?
Says the white person here. Well, I know a gaming company not to support.
Probably didn't support it in the first place.
Probably not. These things, these kinds of people considered political, are often just everyday struggles for countless people in the space. It's really disappointing to see those struggles sort of swatted away impassively just so one person can feel better about running a game that alienates them. What the fuck? Okay.
Again, somebody who probably doesn't play the games.
I don't know. Narrow-minded takes like this hurt marginalized people.
How?
A quick note to remind everyone that we don't talk about politics as a stance only people for whom the current political climate is favorable can take. Basically, we are fine and it's not our problem if other people aren't.
The current political climate is Democrat run. Oh my God, so if you're Democrat, you're the one that's the stance that the climate is favorable for, so no one has to listen to you anymore?
This is so insane. So what they're saying is, can we all put aside our differences and just game? It's not our place as a game manufacturer
to tell you how to think.
To tell you how to think. And this is the same thing with, these are the same people that put pressure on Wizards of the Coast to make ridiculous, unnecessary changes to Dungeons and Dragons. You have always been free to bend the rules to suit your party's needs.
Right. Same with this. You can just probably change it. If you want to make it political, just make it on when you play it yourself.
I mean, they're literally like all kinds of information on the politics of worlds and all that shit. If you want to use it, fine. If you don't want to use it, you just want to go slay monsters, that's fine. You think orcs are racist? Don't put them in your campaign.
But don't tell everybody else they have to not do it either. That's what gets me mad is they're like, basically what happens is these people infiltrate, come in, and half the time they weren't even interested to begin with.
No, a lot of them weren't.
They like, even the ones that don't play, they're all standing guard around it like, ha ha ha, it's ours now. We don't play it, but it's ours now. People are like, okay, we'll just make our own. You're not allowed to do that.
I have a theory. I gotta read this last one too. A quick note to remind everyone reading this that taking a games-only philosophy is still taking a firm stance on discussions they claim not to participate in.
Really?
No, they're basically
that's that's the hill you're gonna die on?
They're basically like, if you're expecting us to post about the Ukraine, or you're expecting us to post about COVID, or you're expecting us to post... We're not going to, because we make games and that's it. That's a very reasonable, non-controversial, like it used to be non-controversial for companies to stay out of politics because they're trying to appeal to the largest audience possible.
The current year, you should just not say anything.
Yeah, but I
mean, to be honest.
Well, I wonder if they said that in response to people harassing them. Where's your flag? Where's your this? Where are your
pronouns?
Where are your pronouns? Why aren't you doing? And I would seriously tell people fuck off too. I'd just be like, look, we make games. Buy the game. Don't buy the game. The politics aren't in the game. If you want more politics in your game, I don't know why anybody would want to role play political drama that's going on in the real world. But if you want to do it, you've always been free.
Why would you want to play a coffee shop?
Why would you want? Yeah, right. I mean, come on. Like, you can play however you want to play.
And prom.
But I have a theory that the reason that like tabletop and comics fell to these people is it's low-hanging fruit, and it was a stepping stone to infiltrate bigger stuff like Hollywood and video games.
Not just, well, yeah, I agree with you there. But I think what also was going on is that they were always very accepting. Like tabletop and these games, like, everybody was welcome to play. A lot of times they would be welcoming to everyone. It's when it became that, hey, we're going to play by the rules that everybody can, when it became you have to make special concessions for me because I identify this way. That's when it became ridiculous. But it always was very open and welcoming. And comics, a lot of times they were male dominated when it came to like the characters or some of the people that like the main ones, Marvel and DC, were mostly men.
Because that was the audience.
Right.
I mean, it was.
But there were a lot of women who were into it, and there was a lot of independent ones that were for women and done by women. But you were welcome to read them. Like, no one was telling you couldn't. And that's maybe why they're infiltrated faster, because you were like, oh, hey, there's girls that want to read the comics. Yes, come hang with us and read comics with us. I'm not trying to be like that, but let's be honest.
Nerds, let them in. That's
pretty much. There's a hot girl who wants to read comics.
Yeah. Oh, but she's bringing all of her recent gender studies lessons with her. Great. I think that's true. I think because the people that played role-playing games, and this is where they get it wrong, they're like, oh, the cool kids are doing. No. The losers, back in the day, the losers played D&D.
If the cool kids did, they hid it from their real friends, quote unquote.
Yes, and I'm telling you from experience. I was the dungeon master. I'm telling you, We had one kid in our party who was a star soccer player, and he basically had to sneak over to my friend's house to play D&D with us, and we weren't really allowed to talk about it during school hours because it made him look like a dork. And I think you're right. I think basically geek hobbies were accepting and naive, and because the real threats, I mean, that shit's really, they talk about gatekeepers. I'm like, that shit's actually gatekept. These hobbies have never really been, I don't think, gatekept.
No, because I think it was like, oh, you're getting picked on at school because you identify a certain way. Well, we get picked on too. Come on, hang out with us. We'll accept you.
Yeah. I mean, that was true. It was like, hey, your real life sucks. You want to escape
ours.
it?
Hey,
so does ours. We get beat up.
Have fun.
Let's go.
Pretend to be something we're not.
Punch some orcs and make fake money, and it's great. And that's why a lot of people play these games. Is they they build friendships and have circles of friends, and they get to escape the real world.
I think comics are the same way. Like, oh, we can't personally be superheroes, and maybe we have no control over things going on in our life, but we can read these books where they do. And oh, you want to do it? And let's be honest here. Oh, these girls want to come in. Yeah, let the girls in. Let the girls in.
Well, okay, so you were big into Star Wars in the 90s. And
yes.
in fact,
I liked it in the 80s too, but yes.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you were actually selling
toys, yes.
Star Wars toys. You were in the collector circles. You were in the back in the 90s. Did you have people being like, you shouldn't be doing this because you're a woman?
All my clients were men. Sounds really bad. Can I say customers?
Hey, I think do we need to have a conversation?
They were all dudes, but I remember we went to see the re-releases, and it was my friend and I, and we were the only two girls in line. We got there early and spent hours in line with all kinds of guys. We all sat there and talked Star Wars. They were thrilled to death we were there. They were like, "Oh my God, there's girls that like Star Wars. This is amazing!" And and they were all welcoming, nice. They never said, "What are you doing here?" Yeah. They never tried to quiz me or anything like that. They were just happy there was girls in line too. I never got any of that shit. I'm not saying some people don't. I'm sure women did get shit from some people. I mean, it probably happened. But in my case, I was there with all these diehard fans waiting in line for hours because you couldn't pre-order tickets then. And they were just thrilled to death I was in line with them. That was it. No crap.
But here we are again, fast forward to current year, and we've got people on Twitter, random people on Twitter, a lot of them, most of them using fake avatars because, you can't actually show people what you look like, going out and finding the owner of the company and what he likes on Facebook. And they're like, I can't tell you how shocked I am that a guy who posts about keeping gaming and politics separate follows Candace Owens on Facebook. I'm not shocked. That's exactly what I expected. How long until
you weren't playing the games anyway? I guarantee you none of these people even knew what the company was. You want to bet?
Yeah. A lot of them, they're like, it's a company to avoid. I'm like, they've been around since the late 90s.
I'm betting none of you knew who they were, gave two fucks until, not that you never give a fuck, until they posted that thing and then some activist, put the flag on it. And now you're all like running to it.
I was just sitting there thinking, like, no, a lot of these people, they sell the fucks. That's how they make. That's how they make extra money. Especially if you're working in comics, you got to sell the fucks. You can't give the fucks away
but they're all like, and I guarantee you, I have 90% of these people, probably higher than that, 95% of these people didn't know the company, didn't care about the company, had no problem with the company 2 days ago. They're just pissed now.
Oh my God, this is beyond parody too. So this guy's like great position. People will bring politics into their games as they will, but in general, keep that aside. So we're not picking sides. I agree with that.
This is a game.
This is just a game. Enjoy it. Don't use this as a vehicle for your personal political standpoint. Again, you're more than welcome to add politics to your own campaign if you want to, but you should not demand
everybody else has
that other people do that. Also, we're all human and occasionally fail. There were other game companies out there that because there were wrong thinking peoples, and there were actually like outright like fascist people playing their game. I think it was Warhammer. They actually put something in the book. They're like, yeah, if you're a fascist, don't play our game. Like, it's like that should be unspoken. Like, it's like, duh. But then the flip side is if Nazis buy a Nintendo, is Nintendo supposed to put out, like, we found two people that are really okay, so Columbine, they were playing video games, you just say, well, we got to put a statement here. If you play our game and it's got guns in it, you better not in real life think that you're going to go kill people because that's,
I don't know. This is stupid.
It's so stupid.
No, I like this one. You're making art, all art is political. No, actually, I'm an art teacher here, and I almost have a second degree in art history. It's not all political. Sometimes there's just pictures because people like to draw, and sometimes art is put out there because, you know, it's a subject that matters to that person, or they think something's beautiful and they just want to cover it. It is not all political. You're full of shit. Just take that ridiculous take, which is probably from somebody who's not even, it's probably a fake account, and just shove it up your ass. I'm sure you like to shove things up your ass.
Whoa.
Just put it up there with the rest of it.
Now tribal Mastodon.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
Yeah. All the things. Looking for work.
Bullshit. Art is all art is political. It's bullshit.
Looking for work. We're actually looking to hire, but
that person's looking for work?
They're looking for
work. Oh, well, I wouldn't
hire
you.
Certain, I'm not hiring you. A no politics or religion stance only creates a welcoming game table for those politics and religion do not harm. Some people's lives are made political because they have more melanin in their skin than...
Oh, bullshit. A lot of people are being vilified because they don't have as much melanin in their skin. This is a bunch of shit. This is stupid. You guys are inserting stuff in there that didn't need to be in there, and then you're having a hissy fit about it.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Now, I think there might be some other stuff going on here, in part, you know, because this happened about 10 days after they said, in response to Wizards, you know, looking to charge royalties on fan projects.
Well, that's convenient timing, isn't it?
Yeah, right after that, all this happens. But, you know, look, this guy's they've been doing this for like 20, 30 years now. And I think it's safe to say that anybody could have looked at his Facebook before now. You can publish your RPG material with Castles and Crusades free with all the support we can offer.
Oh, I bet the same people that are vilifying now, the ones that actually knew what the company was, not the 95 that just are jumping in now, were like, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah. D and done. So yeah, I think that because of that might have...
It's awfully interesting time.
Put them in the crosshairs because they have been around since I believe 1999 and it was never an issue. But now they put that very tame statement out there, and that's what Twitter is going to try to get them canceled.
Right. Look, if you want to put, like you've been saying, politics or different types of characters, whatever in your game, no one's ever told you can't. But you can't demand everybody else has to play it your way. But you just can't do that.
Yeah, and as far as, you know, so now the next thing you watch, they'll get them banned from Gen Con or some bullshit like that.
Probably, but Gen Con's a joke anyway. I mean, I think there's the list of who's not banned is shorter than the list of who is.
Gen Con's like the only convention where you can get beat up there and you get banned instead of the person who punched you.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, there's so many people that have been banned from Gen Con at this point. It's like a badge of honor. I would never go to Gen Con. I mean, it's so weird. They actually had a YouTube. This is just another lawsuit against them because they're bullshit. But they had their people that run the convention staff on YouTube, and they didn't even know how to pronounce Gary Gygax's name.
Yeah.
It's a guy who created Dungeons & Dragons who founded the fucking convention, and you don't even know anything about him or how to even pronounce his name.
It's like what Avril Lavigne didn't know how to say David Bowie.
David Bowie? Was it David Bowie? Oh, God. So anyway.
He's such an inspiration to me.
It's just a ridiculous scene. I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.